Hello and welcome back to Disco Elysium. Today we're gonna go upstairs and we're gonna have a word with Klaasje, who we've met on day 1, but has since been hidden away on her balcony. So let's go inside her room now.
The door is closed. There's still a dent in the vinyl where you punched it before.
Oh yeah, we did that, didn't we? Let's run our finger across the dent.
This little depression is all you could inflict on the door. Why are you doing this? Don't do this to me, please. Remember? Who was that meant for?
Let's just knock.
White morning. It was morning all along. You should have seen it coming. It was right behind her eyes. The words still echo in the hallway.
I mean, it's the worst thing to... I think this is just a thought, since there's no quotation marks, but still, I think this guy would think that.
There we go. Fucking whore. What a nice thing to say, Harry. Everything is A-okay with you.
Half-Light is correct. As in, like, sarcastic, as in actually correct with it being sarcastic and all that. Let's knock.
Who is it?
A woman's voice answers, muffled by the door.
This is the police. Can we come in?
Come on up. The door is open. I'm drying my hair.
Sounds like it's coming from upstairs somewhere. You could snoop around before going up.
We'll do that. We will do that. Let's go inside and let's take a look around. There's something on the desk. Hotel bill calculations. Looks like she has had an extended stay. Piles of dirty clothing. A woman's. Okay, then let's enter this door here. Come on now. What do we have in here? We have a window. You see the yard below. The corpse is no longer there.
This medicine cabinet is full of wares. Sheets of pills, haphazardly stacked, one on top of the other. There's also a toothbrush somewhere in there.
Let's take a look at the toothbrush.
It's been used quite a lot.
Let's look at the medications.
Pharmaceuticals line the shelves. Sheet upon sheet of pill bottle next to pill bottle. Acetylic acid, APAP, eye drops, blood thinners.
There's quite the collection in here.
Anything of note?
Let's search the bottles.
Pill bottles rattle like bones as you search the cabinet. Paracetamol, histoperidol, something in a foreign language you can't read. Behind them, an unusually shaped nasal spray. Its label reads, Nacra.
What's Nacra?
An opioid receptor antagonist. It's used for diamorphine overdoses.
Okay, let's search the pill sheets.
Among some foreign, probably Messinian or Gottwaldian, marked red blister packs you find. What do you find? This is going to take a little know-how.
Do we take another sip? I think we do. Come on, can I do this in dialogue? I can. Very good. We should also just crank that back up. And with that, 92% chance. I think this is looking good. Let's go for it.
A bright orange bottle with Preptide stamped on it. In sunny, happy letters. Jackpot, baby. That's the stuff you're looking for. Your palms begin to sweat just holding that little plastic container. And your chest swells with pride. Look, it's made right here in Revachol by San Baptiste, a proud Revacholian pharmaceutical company with great traditions.
What's so exciting about this orange bottle?
It's speed, man. Just what you were looking for. They call it dextroamphetamine and talk about psychological disorders. But what we're seeing here is some scientifically advanced trucker speed.
Okay, now that's wonderful. Lieutenant, I also see a brand called Preptide.
Peptide. A euphemism for pharmaceutical amphetamine. Prescription speed.
Wonderful.
The fuck are you waiting for? Let's get super fucking preppy.
We could do the interfacing and try to take it in secret, but I'm just gonna take it in plain
The
sight.
lieutenant looks toward the door as if he didn't see you pilfer that sweet Preptide. He did, though. He totally did, and now he thinks less of you. Should have kept it sub rosa. Who cares, man? Who cares what the stiff thinks? Here comes the afterburner. Just put it in your sweaty little hand now.
Let's close the cabinet. Let's take a look. We're at minus 27. Oh my god, I didn't think we would get this far down when I started. I thought it would be like at minus 10 or something. I didn't even know it could go like this far down. I thought it had a limit at some point. But no, we're at minus 27. That's impressive, honestly. We have a skill point if we want one, but we don't need it right now, so I'm gonna save it for when it becomes necessary. So let's go upstairs now. What do we have in here? We have a bed. The bed has been hastily made. There's a window.
This window is pristine on the inside, unlike the one next to it. Light from the desk lamp reflects off the glass in an untarnished golden halo.
Run your fingers across the surface of the glass.
Smooth as ice. There are spots of mud and rain on the outside, even smudges. But the surface of the window is clear from the inside. No chips, no hairline fractures. Following your lead, the lieutenant leans in closer to inspect the surface.
This window was recently replaced.
Looks like it, yes.
Okay. Let's see, let's step outside. Okay, oh, something here. The smell of cigarette smoke in the air. Astra menthol. Okay. What else are the thoughts here? Look, a handful of dried white wildflowers.
Just as you look at the flowers, a gust of wind raises them from the roof, picking them up in the air.
Well, let's try it. Let's see if we can get that.
You catch a single white flower between your fingers. The rest fly off into the wind. It's a maybell.
Okay, we got the item, dried maybells.
The young woman looks at the maybell in your hand. Just a glance, then takes a drag of her cigarette. The lieutenant gives you an acknowledging little nod.
Okay, 1 second. Which way are we gonna snap? I think we're gonna snap our finger pistols at the young woman.
Your 9mm semi-automatic finger pistols make 2 satisfying snaps. Strange for such a small caliber of finger pistol to sound so chunky. The flower in your hand is impressed. So is she.
I'm sure that's true.
That's not actually true.
Yeah.
She's looking toward the yard and doesn't notice them, which is probably for the best. Because didn't someone mention she's a rape victim?
Okay, what do we have here? Cold coffee and an ashtray that looks like a hedgehog. We could do this door and kick it down, but I think we're gonna talk to her first.
Welcome to the roof.
The young woman has a cigarette in one hand and a cup of coffee in the other.
Her hair is still slick from the shower. Below her silvery jumpsuit, an athletic young body, built long and lean, then toned over several years of self-defense training. You can sense it in the sharp pointing of her elbows.
I'm sorry for the mess down there. The cleaning lady hasn't come by in days. I'm beginning to wonder if she ever will.
Nice view you've got there.
It's much nicer now.
Her eyes wander north towards the yard.
Where the dead body used to hang, clearly visible from the roof, but no longer.
Thank you for that, officers. Truly.
There is something in her light brown eyes, a sadness, when she thinks about the death of that man.
You mentioned the cleaning lady. I think I need one.
Oh yes. Legends of room number 1 have made their way around the building. They say a portal to hell has opened in there.
It has. Disco Infernum. Hell, you know not of which you speak. There are vortices of dark energy present, but not to hell. To another place, a third place. Much different from our world. No, I just trashed the place. Let's go with the vortices and the weird third place.
A third place? Interesting. That's probably why the cleaning lady quit.
Most likely.
I'm Kim Kitsuragi. I'm a detective from Precinct 57. I believe you have already met my colleague from Precinct 41.
Have I ever? Have you grown accustomed to your role as a police officer?
Once a cop, always a cop. I have very little idea of what I'm doing. That is unimportant to the case at hand. Once a cop, always a cop.
Like riding a cop-a-cycle.
She takes a sip of her coffee.
Miss, we are investigating the murder of the man down there. The people who put him there have asked us to talk to you.
Huh. I see.
She takes a pensive drag of her menthol cigarette.
Be careful. Ask something else first. When you go there, use words like, I hear you have been through something difficult. No need to dilly-dally. She's tough.
I'll go straight to it. I don't want to sound like a namby-pamby. Thanks, coach, but I think I will dilly-dally this time. I've said I'll listen to coach physical instruments, so I'll go straight to it. I don't want to sound like a namby-pamby.
Good on you, boy. She can take it.
Okay, let's head straight for it. They tell us you were raped.
It's a bit early in the morning for rape, isn't it?
It's 3 in the afternoon.
She sounds positively buoyant, vivacious, totally unbothered.
Actually, it's already afternoon.
Is it?
Squinting, she takes a look around. The spring sun is high in the sky. People pass below.
It is afternoon. Time flies, man.
So were you?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with not raped. I don't want to say that shit about him.
By him, she must mean the victim.
Thank you, reaction speed. Could not have pieced that together myself.
Tell them it's not my style. They'll have to, you know, if they want to jazz up the charges, they'll have to get someone more, rapeable.
Are you saying that you were asked to tell us you were assaulted?
Not explicitly, but I understood what they meant. It wouldn't hurt to spice things up a bit. Some assault and battery. Sexual assault, maybe. It was clear the latter would be spicier.
Titus asked you to spice things up for us?
Pretty much.
She cradles her coffee cup in both hands.
Warming them. She must be very cold and exhausted of this life.
What did happen between you and the victim?
We partied.
Wait, partied. Where have I heard that before? You mean like a birthday party? What kind of partying? Point to your bloated face, the kind I do. I don't get it. What do you mean partied? I'll go with the third one here.
With all due respect, sir, I think we partied a little harder than that.
No one parties harder than me. Harder than this? Keep pointing to your face. I didn't know it was physically possible. Let's go with the second one.
Oh, it is. You're still alive.
Fair enough.
What did you do when you partied?
We drank, sir. A lot. For weeks, basically. We had that effect on each other. We made each other drink harder. That's why I liked him.
What else?
Stimulants. Speed also has that effect, making you drink harder. And then drinking harder makes you do more speed. It's quite the combination. We also had sex.
Whoa. After so much drinking and drugs, how did they manage it?
Hold on. After so much drinking and drugs, how?
Untraditionally, officer.
She puts out her Astra, but lights another one with its end first.
She's cold and strange. I'm not picking anything up here.
Interesting, okay.
Your imagination starts whirring, whether you want it to or not.
Were feelings involved?
A little. The drugs were good enough, and we did enough of them.
How did you two meet?
The lieutenant's voice is quiet, calm.
Downstairs, at the bar. He was on some sort of assignment, a military man, as you probably know. Had a cool, scary scar.
She appears aloof, but that scar part, the scary, is stressed and drawn out. What's that about? apprehension, with longing. She misses him.
When was this?
A month ago? Something like that.
It must have been hard for you, seeing him there, point to the yard. Yeah, sure, let's ask that.
Oh, yes. I've had a great view. From the roof, out of the bathroom window, in my dreams.
A bitter cringe. It hurts. You look to the lieutenant. He takes a small step closer.
You called us, the RCM.
Yes.
Well, that's
Jackpot.
solved. The call reporting the hanging, that was you?
I made it. And I would appreciate it if you didn't tell everyone. In Martinez, they call it snitching.
Reporting crimes is confidential in Revachol, miss.
Before we go on, if it's snitching, then why do it?
Because I couldn't handle it anymore. None of these people called. He just kept hanging there. Then they started stripping him.
The caller's voice was disguised.
I didn't exactly disguise it. I just muffled the mic and nicked the landline a little.
Nicked it? How?
With nail clippers. And I diverted some radio fuzz into it. Into the cold wire.
You were right to suspect there might be foul play involved with the broken phone line.
And in the process you broke the landline downstairs.
Did I? Fuck. I didn't mean to. I had no idea what I was doing.
Honestly, the strategy of diverting some radio fuzz into the cold wire seems pretty expert to me. Like, I wouldn't have thought of that. No way.
Still, that's pretty clever tampering. Simple and clever.
Yeah.
Crossing the lines like that.
Seems like you had some idea. That was nifty.
Thanks.
She manages a smile. Why go through all the trouble?
I don't know, sir. It was stupid. I was drunk, too. I was probably afraid the union was listening in. Locals say they have ears in the wires.
Thank you for making the call, miss. It was the right thing to do.
I didn't want to, sir. But if I hadn't, he'd still be hanging there.
What can you tell me about him? Name, eyes, age?
I'm sorry, I can't do it. Not right now. Later, maybe. I keep seeing him. Like he is now. I can't talk about his... I don't know. Hair.
Another puff. More nervous.
I know it's difficult, miss. We can return to it later.
She meant she sees him in her dreams.
I've also seen him in a dream.
You have? Not like I do, I imagine.
She's run out of cigarette. Time to light a new one.
She sees them in each other's arms.
I see him as me.
She fishes a cigarette out of her pack and lights it, then looks at you with her lungs full of smoke.
I can see the similarity, yes.
She breathes out through her nostril. The air smells of menthol.
Funny.
The lieutenant says softly.
Funny how?
Nothing. I also saw him. We had a long inspection and that sort of thing sticks with you. Let's move on.
What did they hang him for, if not rape?
He had something to do with the strike. One has been roiling since I got here. Rotten timing. But you probably know all about it.
And his role in this strike was... what?
I think he was in a security detail. He was ex-military. Worked for Wild Pines. And against the Union. We didn't discuss work much, if you know what I mean. But I understood it was dangerous.
And they lynched him for it?
She nods.
Okay, so, why was there a bullet in his head? I'm gonna save that. How do the Hardy Boys know you?
They're frequent guests. Downstairs. They have a booth for Union members. They're probably down there now.
And how did you meet?
Over drinks. It's been a long, boring winter.
Did you party?
A little, yeah.
Like you partied with the deceased?
No, not as hard.
I'm sorry to have to ask this, but have you had a physical relationship with any of the Hardy Boys?
I have.
Which one?
Which ones, sir? I don't remember precisely. Titus, obviously. But as I said, it's been a long winter.
Could that have been part of the reason they hanged him?
Could that be why they why they lynched him? Jealousy?
I hope not. Actually, I know that's not the reason. I'm careful about that kind of thing. Not crossing the wires, you know? But that's probably where they got the rape idea.
What do you mean?
Men like that? I don't know. It's the way their imaginations work. I suspect it's what they'd like to do to me.
She changes balance from one foot to another, crossing her legs.
Why was there a bullet in his head?
Bullet? They shot him too? They stripped his clothes and they shot him?
You mean after they hanged him?
I'm confused, sorry.
Yeah?
So am I. Were you aware that he had also been shot, miss?
Things are starting to go a little over my head here. I thought he was hanged. I was not present when they did it. I don't know what happened. I just know what they told me. And Sylvie, the bartender.
It's hard to know what to think about that answer.
Ah, okay. Yeah, my logic isn't particularly great. Well, actually, didn't need that much more. A logic of 4 would have been enough, but mine is at 3, so that didn't pay off.
She's just tired. Don't push her too much.
Yeah, empathy. Yeah, empathy. Sure. Thank you for telling us all of this, miss. Let's conclude.
She breathes a silvery sigh of relief and weariness. The air on the roof feels humid.
Should we head by downstairs, officer? We may have things to discuss there.
Okay.
As he says so, you feel the young woman looking at you and get a feeling you can't quite put your finger on. A suspicion?
I had something else. Before we go, a little thing.
She nods. Silvery cigarette fumes disappear into her mouth.
What is your name, miss, for the record?
Klaasje Amandu.
And where are you from?
Vredefort, Republic of Oranje.
What is Oranje?
A bad memory, officer.
A bad memory of what?
Of lilacs and lightning. Parks, glass. Duraluminium. Vredefort is a conference city. It's always autumn there. At night. At least it was for me.
What's so bad about that?
Nothing. If you're no longer there.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
She takes a drag. What do you do, miss? What's your specialization?
Something stupid.
What's that?
Oranese lit.
Oranese lit?
Oranese literature. It's what I studied at the university.
She raises both eyebrows. What is Oranese literature about?
Fear of failure, fear of death, how it sucks to be Oranese. All national literatures are. Only the name of the nation changes.
If that's true, then Revacholian lit would fit you like a glove.
Oranese lit. What do you do with it?
Nothing. I do nothing with it.
How do you make money then? Money is very important. Show her some money.
Cool. I've made more money by just being than I have with Oranese lit.
Being what?
Many things. A roller skating instructor, a secretary, Miss Oranje 37.
Hold up. 28 years old, she says. We have the year 51. So minus 14 at 14? Oh, okay, weird. But okay. She smiles.
It's the world's most tired smile. Miss Oranje, now there is something you should linger on.
Wait, Miss Oranje 37?
It's a beauty pageant, held in the year of our century 37, in Oranje.
She was 14 at the time.
Yeah. You were 14?
Indeed.
Her voice is indifferent to the number.
Cool. Raise your thumb. Lower your thumb. I disapprove of his custom. I don't think I've ever been 14. I mean, this would be the honest answer here. That's weird. All those Child beauty pageants are horrible. I don't know why those are still a thing. But I guess the worst person in the world would think they're cool.
Full disclosure, I was Miss Teen Oranje 37. The pageant was discontinued recently.
Good. Good. Could we take a look at your passport, please?
I'm afraid you can't, officer.
Why is that?
Because it's buried in a sealed plastic bag at an undisclosed location on the coast, along with cash and airline tickets.
Thank you for your candor. Why?
They say so in your tourist brochure. Keep travel documents away from your person when west of the river.
I'm pretty sure I have the legal right to demand your passport, miss. How do I know you've told us your real name? Okay then, I'm pretty sure Would he go hard on her, or would he still, would he still be swayed by being attracted to her? I guess he would still be swayed. How do I know you've told us the real name?
If I were to lie to you, I would come up with a more mainstream name than Klaasje Mondu. It's a weird name.
Okay then.
Okie dokie.
She pours herself more coffee.
If any of this made her nervous, it certainly doesn't show in her expression or her movements.
Thank you. That's it for the record.
The record. So official.
Nice room you've got here.
Yeah. It's pretty deluxe.
What are you doing here in the Welling in Rags?
I'm wintering.
How long have you been staying here?
About 4 months. I came in November.
Why here?
Here in the Whirling, here in Martinez, or here in Revachol?
Why here in Martinez?
I heard this is where the washed-up disco has-beens go.
You came to the right place. You're too young to call yourself a disco has-been. No, this is Sassy Town. It's where the future of dance lies. Understood. Let's go with number 3.
If you say so, officer. If you say so.
You have quite the collection of prescription drugs down there.
Thank you. I've put a lot of time and effort into it.
She says without any discernible irony. It was quite impressive. How did you amass such a hoard?
With money, sir. It's not exactly the NT-star size caboodle I intend for it to be one day, but it's getting there.
The collection includes Nacra, an opioid antagonist.
Comes in handy when you've done too many opioids.
I'd imagine so.
Is that something that happens to you often, miss?
His tone isn't aggressive, just inquisitive.
Better safe than sorry.
She takes a drag and smiles. You seem to have, among other things, Preptide.
Oh, yes. One of my favorites. It cures many ailments.
Like what?
Like not being able to stay up for 36 hours. Not being happy. It cures those ailments. It's just a merit speed molecule, basically.
You know what? I want to know what she says. Cool, I took some for personal use.
Huh? Motherfucker took my Preptide? Looks like you owe me one, officer. I'm talking serious corruption here.
This does not amount to actual corruption. I can easily log it under confiscation.
Robbed by common highwaymen.
She's not angry, but it's true. She's gonna have to find some more Preptide now.
That window is new.
It is.
She moves slightly to your left to check her reflection in it.
The lieutenant makes a note in his notebook. He finds the answer unsatisfying.
I have other questions for you.
Okay.
She takes a pensive drag of her cigarette.
Watching herself reflected in the bedroom window, tall and sparkling and draped in smoke.
We'll do that later. We'll do that later.